Most dangerous crystals you should never touch. Introduction. Understanding the hidden dangers of certain crystals is one of the most important topics for anyone working with minerals, whether you are a beginner collector, a healer, a crystal enthusiast, or a spiritual practitioner. Many people believe that all crystals are safe, gentle, and naturally healing, but the truth is far more complex. Earth creates not only beauty but also toxicity. Some crystals carry harmful minerals, radioactive elements, toxic dust, or unstable chemical structures that can cause physical harm, emotional instability, energetic overload, or long-term health damage. In this complete deep dive, you will explore the world of the most dangerous crystals on Earth, the crystals you should never touch, never breathe near, never store casually, and never use for healing work. Listen till the end because every segment contains powerful information that many people have never heard before. If you learned something new, like the video, share it forward, subscribe for more content, and if you have any perspective or question, comment below. Let us begin this journey into the darker side of crystal energy. The hidden side of crystal collecting. Why some crystals are dangerous. Crystals become dangerous primarily due to three factors: toxic chemical composition, radioactive elements, and unstable dust particles. Toxic minerals contain heavy metals or poisonous elements such as arsenic, lead, mercury, cadmium, copper in excessive concentration, or other hazardous compounds. These minerals may release toxic dust when handled, broken, drilled, or polished. Radioactive minerals contain naturally occurring radioactive isotopes such as uranium or thorium, which release radiation that can be harmful in prolonged exposure. Some crystals are unstable in water, heat, or air and can break down into harmful powders. Others have extremely sharp structures that can injure skin. Many collectors and healers are unaware of these risks because the mainstream crystal industry rarely talks about the toxic side of minerals. In the spiritual community, crystals are portrayed as purely positive, but nature does not work in absolutes. Every crystal carries a duality of power, and some carry dangers that must be respected. Your responsibility as a collector or healer working with crystals is both a privilege and a responsibility. When you bring a mineral into your home, you bring its chemical and energetic influence into your environment. If you work with clients, understanding which crystals are hazardous is essential for safety. You must know how to store dangerous crystals, how to handle them, how to avoid contamination, and how to ethically educate others. As you explore this list, remember that knowledge protects. Now, let us explore each of the world's most dangerous crystals in full depth. The most dangerous crystals you should never touch. Realgar. The poison mineral of fire. Realgar is one of the most deceptively beautiful yet dangerously toxic minerals on Earth. It contains arsenic sulfide, a highly poisonous compound that can cause severe health damage. Realgar breaks down into powder easily, especially under sunlight, producing arsenic dust that can be absorbed through skin, inhaled, or contaminate surfaces. Even touching realgar can lead to toxic exposure because moisture from your skin can react with the mineral. Its vibrant red-orange glow has attracted collectors for centuries, but very few understand its deadly nature. Realgar also breaks down into pararealgar, an unstable compound that continues to release toxins over time. This mineral should never be used for healing work, never worn as jewelry, and never kept near children. It should be sealed in airtight containers and handled only with gloves and protective equipment. Orpiment. The golden arsenic crystal. Orpiment looks like pure gold crystallized into delicate, soft blades that seem almost heavenly. But this beauty hides massive toxicity. Orpiment contains arsenic trisulfide and is one of the most dangerous minerals to touch or breathe near. The mineral sheds microparticles easily, and its powder can be fatal if inhaled. Collectors often mistakenly place orpiment in altars or use it for manifestation work, not knowing that its dust can spread across shelves and contaminate entire rooms. Orpiment also breaks down under light, releasing more toxic dust. Even ancient civilizations who used orpiment for pigments suffered poisoning without knowing the source. Its energy is strong but chaotic, not suitable for spiritual or healing work. Extreme caution is required for handling, and this mineral should never be used casually. Cinnabar. The mercury mineral of transformation. Cinnabar is visually striking with its deep blood red color, symbolizing transformation and alchemical power. But the truth is far darker. Cinnabar contains mercury sulfide, an extremely toxic compound that can release mercury vapor, especially when heated or scratched. Prolonged exposure to cinnabar can cause neurological issues, skin disorders, internal organ damage, memory loss, and emotional instability. Many ancient cultures used cinnabar in rituals, unaware of the long-term health risks. Cinnabar should never be worn as jewelry, never be used for meditation, and never be placed under pillows or near heat sources. Even polishing this mineral can release mercury into the air. Collectors must handle it with extreme care, using gloves and airtight storage. Galena, the lead crystal of shadow energy. Galena is one of the most commonly found toxic minerals due to its high lead content. Lead poisoning is serious, leading to neurological issues, infertility, blood disorders, and brain damage. Galena has an intense metallic shine that attracts collectors, but its dust is extremely hazardous. Touching galena is not recommended, especially if it has loose particles. Washing galena can pollute water with lead. Using galena for spiritual work can energetically overload the body with dense, heavy, grounding frequencies that create emotional heaviness instead of clarity. Keeping galena in your home requires full isolation and labeling to avoid accidental contamination. Chrysocolla in quartz. The copper overload crystal. Many people mistakenly assume chrysocolla is always safe, but in reality, certain forms contain extremely high copper concentrations. When chrysocolla forms inside quartz cavities in unstable environments, the copper can oxidize and release toxic dust. Long-term exposure can cause skin irritation, liver damage, and respiratory issues. The crystal becomes more dangerous when broken, drilled, or polished. Some people use chrysocolla in elixirs without understanding that copper poisoning can occur from drinking such water. This is one of the most misunderstood dangerous crystals. Always keep copper-heavy chrysocolla sealed, avoid elixirs. And never ingest crystal-infused water unless you fully understand its chemical composition. Autunite. The radioactive glow. Autunite glows with a beautiful neon yellow-green color, often appearing magical or alien-like. But its glow comes from radioactive uranium content. Handling this mineral without proper knowledge can expose you to radiation that accumulates in the body over time. Radioactive minerals are especially dangerous because their effects are not immediately visible. Prolonged exposure increases the risk of cancer, DNA damage, organ failure, and reproductive issues. Autunite must be stored using lead containers, kept away from living spaces, and never used in healing sessions. Many collectors underestimate radiation because the mineral looks harmless, but radiation burns, contamination, and long-term exposure are real risks. Torbernite. The crystal of silent radiation. Torbernite forms beautiful green tabular crystals that almost resemble emeralds. But underneath this beauty lies thorium and uranium, making it one of the most radioactive crystals known to collectors. Torbernite continuously releases radon gas, an invisible radioactive gas that can accumulate in closed rooms and cause lung cancer. If you keep torbernite indoors without proper ventilation, you are breathing radioactive air. Torbernite forms unstable structures and can break into radioactive dust. For this reason, it should never be touched directly, never be kept near bedrooms, and never be used for spiritual work. Thorionite. The heavy radiation crystal. Thorionite contains extremely high concentrations of thorium, far more than most radioactive minerals. Even small exposure can increase radiation levels in your surroundings. Handling thorionite requires protective gear, radiation detection equipment, and strong ventilation. This is not a crystal for collectors and absolutely not for healers. Storing thorionite carelessly can expose people in your home to dangerous radiation that affects long-term health. It should never be kept near children, pets, or anyone unaware of its danger. Stibnite. The blade of metallic poison. Stibnite forms long metallic blades that look powerful, mystical, and visually captivating. But these blades contain antimony, a toxic element that can cause skin irritation, organ damage, and respiratory issues if inhaled as dust. Stibnite is extremely sharp and can cause physical injury. Its energy is harsh, cutting, and unsuitable for healing. Some spiritual practitioners attempt to use stibnite for transformation rituals, but the physical toxicity combined with its aggressive frequency makes it dangerous. Stibnite should always be handled with gloves and stored away from moisture and heat. Crocoite. The lead chromium hazard. Crocoite displays one of the most vibrant orange-red colors of any mineral, but its beauty hides extreme toxicity due to its lead and chromium content. Chromium B compounds are carcinogenic and can cause severe health issues even from minor exposure. Crocoite crystals are fragile and shed particles easily, making them hazardous for indoor display. Never inhale near crocoite, never clean it without protection, and never use it for healing work. Its energy is chaotic, overstimulating, and energetically draining. Collectors must handle crocoite with respect and caution. In hydrocrystals, the trapped ancient water risk in hydrocrystals contain trapped water bubbles that are millions of years old. While not toxic by themselves, they are extremely dangerous if broken. The trapped water may contain ancient bacteria, viruses, or microorganisms that have been sealed for geological time periods. Releasing such water into modern environments can cause biological hazards. In hydrocrystals are also structurally fragile and can explode under pressure, creating sharp shards. Never drill, heat, or attempt to open in hydrocrystals. They should only be collected for visual purposes. Pyrite, the fool's gold of hidden risks. Pyrite is generally safe, but certain pyrite formations contain arsenic. When pyrite oxidizes, especially in humid environments, it produces sulfuric acid and iron sulfate, creating toxic residues. Pyrite dust from cutting or polishing can be harmful if inhaled. Raw pyrite clusters that crumble easily should be kept away from moisture. Avoid pyrite elixirs and never ingest pyrite-infused water. Energetically, pyrite is powerful but can cause grounding overload if used excessively. Ulexite, the fiber optic eye burn crystal. Ulexite is famous for its TV stone effect, but it contains boron-based compounds that can irritate skin and eyes. Ulexite dissolves in water, releasing substances that are unsafe to ingest. Its fibers can break into needle-like splinters that cause skin injury. While not extremely toxic, it is still dangerous enough to avoid using in crystal water or elixirs. Ulexite is safe only when handled gently and stored dry. Concluding thoughts: the importance of respecting crystals. Nature creates beauty, but nature also creates danger. Many crystals are safe, but others require knowledge, respect, and proper handling. Never assume that every crystal is harmless. Educate yourself before using any mineral in healing, meditation, or spiritual work. If you learned something new today, make sure to like this content, share it with others, and subscribe for more powerful knowledge. If you have any thoughts, perspectives, or questions, comment below. Your engagement helps more people discover this important information. Closing statement: if you know any other dangerous crystal that people should stay away from, you can share it. Most people do not know or dangerous. Introduction to the second phase of hidden mineral dangers. As you move deeper into the world of mineralogy, geology, and metaphysical energy, you begin to realize that the Earth's underground kingdom is far more complex than what is commonly taught. Most crystal videos, books, and workshops only focus on safe, gentle stones like amethyst, rose quartz, clear quartz, citrine, and black tourmaline. But beneath these known healing stones lies an entire underworld of minerals that are chemically toxic, energetically overwhelming, radioactively unstable, or biologically hazardous. Very few people have the courage to explore the darker side of crystals, and fewer still have accurate knowledge. This second part takes you even deeper. Listen till the end because the information becomes more intense as we go forward. If you learned something new, like the video, subscribe, and leave your perspective in the comments. Let us begin the second descent. Williaumite, the sodium fluoride crystal of instant toxicity. Williaumite is one of the most chemically dangerous minerals ever discovered. It contains sodium fluoride in an extremely reactive form. Unlike the fluoride used in tiny amounts in water or toothpaste, Williaumite's fluoride concentration is so high that touching it with moist skin can cause chemical burns. Even small particles entering the mouth or eyes can cause extreme poisoning. Williaumite has a striking deep red or neon pink color that attracts collectors. But the toxicity is far stronger than its beauty. This mineral dissolves in moisture rapidly, releasing fluoride ions that can disrupt nerve functions, muscle movement, and calcium balance. Energetically, Williaumite carries an aggressive vibration that feels like an electric jolt rather than healing energy. This crystal should never be used for spiritual work and should only be stored by experts who understand its chemical nature. Chalcantite, the copper sulfate crystal that dissolves into poison. Chalcantite's vibrant blue color looks magical, like something pulled out of a dream. But it is one of the most dangerous copper-based minerals because it dissolves rapidly in water, producing a poison known as copper sulfate. Even touching chalcantite with wet hands can transfer toxic copper salts into your skin. Drinking water contaminated with chalcantite is life-threatening, and many people in history have unknowingly poisoned livestock by allowing blue crystals to contaminate wells. Chalcantite crystals grown artificially are also dangerous because they shed toxic powder easily. Energetically, chalcantite amplifies emotional intensity to an unstable level, making it unsuitable for meditation or healing. This is a crystal you look at but never touch. Coloradoite. The mercury telluride time bomb. Coloradoite is formed from mercury and tellurium, two elements that combine to create a compound far more reactive than mercury sulfide in cinnabar. When coloradoite reacts with moisture or acidic environments, it can release toxic mercury vapor. Mercury vapor is extremely dangerous because it is invisible and odorless yet attacks the nervous system. Long-term exposure leads to tremors, memory loss, emotional instability, and permanent brain damage. Many collectors do not know they have coloradoite in their mineral sets because it resembles galena or other metallic minerals. This mineral should never be polished, heated, or broken. Energetically, coloradoite carries a dense, metallic, almost suffocating frequency that disrupts mental clarity. It is unsafe physically and energetically. Aragonite. The cancer-causing zeolite. Aragonite is a member of the zeolite family, which includes many safe minerals like apophyllite. But aragonite is different. Its fibrous structure resembles asbestos. And inhaling even a microscopic amount of aragonite dust significantly increases the risk of mesothelioma, a deadly cancer. Aragonite is found in volcanic regions, and many samples look soft, harmless, and fibrous, making people mistake it for cotton-like mineral clusters. Cutting, grinding, or even gently handling aragonite can release microscopic fibers that float in the air and enter the lungs. This mineral should never be collected casually. Energetically, aragonite has a strong but chaotic frequency that disrupts the auric field. It should never be used in spiritual practice. Beryllium-based crystals. Heliodor. Morganite and goshenite. Berry L family crystals like heliodor, morganite, and goshenite are usually safe. But certain raw, unrefined, or damaged beryl crystals contain high concentrations of beryllium dust. Beryllium is extremely toxic when inhaled. It can cause berylliosis, a chronic, incurable lung disease that affects breathing, immunity, and life expectancy. Cutting or grinding raw beryl releases beryllium particles that remain airborne for a long time. Even handling raw beryl without washing hands can cause exposure if the dust transfers to food or face. Jewelry-grade beryl is safe, but raw mineral forms require caution. Energetically, damaged beryl crystals can create sharp, piercing frequencies that overwhelm sensitive people. Hutchinsonite. The deadly thallium crystal. Hutchinsonite contains a highly poisonous cocktail of thallium, arsenic, and lead. Thallium poisoning is one of the most severe forms of heavy metal poisoning, causing hair loss, neurological damage, vomiting, organ failure, and even death. Touching hutchinsonite can transfer microscopic particles that enter skin pores or transfer to the mouth. Its silver-red metallic needles look beautiful under light but are physically hazardous. This crystal is unsafe for beginners, unsafe for healers, unsafe for display, and should only be stored in sealed containers. Energetically, hutchinsonite carries an intense, shadow-like vibration that feels draining and cold. Prestite. The light-sensitive arsenic crystal. Prestite is known as the ruby silver crystal because of its deep red glow. It contains silver arsenic sulfide, making it highly toxic. Prestite decays in light, releasing toxic arsenic dust gradually over time. Even exposure to mild sunlight accelerates its breakdown. The older the specimen, the more unstable it becomes. Collectors who store prestite openly are unknowingly inhaling arsenic particles. Energetically, prestite is volatile and ungrounded, amplifying emotions in unpredictable ways. Beta quartz. High temperature crystal of energetic instability. Beta quartz does not exist naturally at room temperature. It forms only under extremely high temperatures deep within the Earth. When brought to normal temperatures, it becomes unstable. Beta quartz specimens created in laboratories can crack spontaneously, releasing sharp splinters. Energetically, beta quartz carries an intense, overstimulating vibration that disrupts the body's energy system. It is not physically toxic but is dangerous energetically. Marcasite. The sulfur decay crystal. Marcasite is similar to pyrite but far more unstable. It decays over time through a process known as pyrite disease, producing sulfuric acid and iron sulfate. These substances corrode shelves, contaminate nearby crystals, and create dangerous acidic droplets. Marcasite specimens often crumble, releasing fine particles that irritate lungs. Energetically, marcasite emits a sharp, chaotic frequency that drains energy fields. Tektites containing unknown extraterrestrial compounds. Most tektites are safe, but certain rare tektites contain unknown compounds from high-speed meteor impacts. Some tektites found in regions with radioactive deposits contain trace radiation. Others contain metallic fragments that can be absorbed through skin over time. Energetically, unstable tektites produce highly erratic frequencies that can disrupt emotional grounding. Biological hazards. Ancient fossils and organism-trapped crystals. Some crystals contain ancient organic material, microfossils, microbial colonies, or prehistoric liquids. Breaking these crystals can release ancient bacteria or viruses. Although rare, biological exposure is possible with anhydrous, amber with trapped insects, and certain fossilized minerals.